So I finished, I look up, and I'm like, yo, I ain't got shit.
Yeah.
I had Jordans, I had like 10 pair of Jordans. I had a watch my girl bought me, I had my Xbox. I had probably like $1,000 in my savings account.
Dang.
So right there, I'm like, I'm looking around, it was embarrassing as hell, because everybody writing. Or it looked like they was writing, and I'm just looking up, like, I start fake writing. I'm like, I don't want nobody to look at me and be like, damn, bro, you done?
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, this is embarrassing. So right there, I'm like, I never want to have this feeling again.
Welcome to Coastline Conversations, and thank y'all for your support. Here are 2 ways you can continue to support Coastline Magazine. 1, hit subscribe below, subscribe to our channel. Thank y'all in advance. Number 2, share our content. If you or any of your friends are entrepreneurs, creatives, influencers, etc., and want some motivational content on entrepreneurial stories, please share our content, have them watch our videos, and subscribe to our channel as well. And as always, continue to live the Coastline life. Peace. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of Coastline Conversations. This time we got my guy Xavier Miller. He's an investor, real estate investor, the stocks, crypto veteran.
Yeah, veteran.
You know, I'm gonna say influencer too, man, because he's out here influencing others to really get financial literate, share the game, the knowledge of what he's learned over time. And he's gonna share some of those gems with us today, man. So without further ado, I appreciate you stopping by Coastline Loft, man.
Definitely, man. Yeah. Appreciate the invite, man.
No doubt. Solid dude, man. Been following you for a minute. Didn't even know when I met you at the Black Chamber of Commerce event. I'm like, you look familiar. Then he told you what. I'm like, man, I've been following you, bro. Love what you're doing, man.
Thank you, bro.
You know
That's love for real, man.
You know how it goes. You have a podcast, you know, a top podcast at that.
Thanks.
So what we kind of want to do is kind of get your backstory, lean up to today, what you've been doing, who you are, so our audience can get to know more about you, and then of course share some of your blueprints along the way.
Definitely.
So, like I said, you were a veteran in the Air Force, right?
Yes, sir.
So what made you want to join the Air Force?
My brother, he invited me to come down to Florida to live with him. Okay. So I went. So this was my introduction to like the military lifestyle, because I always had some kind of idea that it would be like crazy, like not normal. But when I seen how he lived his life every day, just like everybody else, I'm like, oh, the military not that bad.
Right.
So then he told me, he was like, yeah, if you do it, just go to the Air Force. It's a much better branch. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I went back to Chicago. I joined the Air Force, got out. That's how I got in the Air Force, and I was out in California at Beale Air Force Base.
That was your first duty location?
Yeah, that was my first and only duty station. I was there my whole enlistment.
Okay, that was 4 years, 6 years?
I did 6 and a half.
6 and a half.
Yep.
That's what's that's solid, man.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Killeen, so we right by Fort Hood. That's the Army base. So that's how I kind of grew up. Like all my friends, like when they graduated high school, they either gonna go to the Army, go overseas as a contractor, or they was gonna leave. So a lot of my friends right now, they like 10, 12 years in to the military. And I used to tell them too, like, man, y'all should join the Air Force, Cause like at that time, you didn't really see too many people join the Air Force, get deployed.
No, you don't.
Army though.
They out of there.
Yeah, you go, you straight leaving.
Man, they out of there. Yeah, the Air Force is not like that. It's real like, the Air Force is really like a corporation. Yeah. It's around like, kind of like the corporate world. It's super like, political. Obviously, it's the military, but it's like straightforward. Like that's the good thing about it. It teaches you a lot of things. So,
right. What was your job title in the?
So I did information protection. My actual job title, it was what was it, 3A, 3F? They kept switching it, but it's pretty much like working with like the commanders and stuff, doing like administrative stuff. But most of the time, I was information protection, where I worked with people with their clearances, helped them getting them clearances. If they got into some trouble, we had to take their shit away, that kind of stuff. So I did that pretty much like majority of my career.
That's what's. I had a secret clearance.
You did?
I was my story started. I was a contractor for 2 years in Afghanistan, so I had to get I had to get a secret clearance to go over there and do that. So I did that. Made a lot of. You know how a contractor was, made a lot of money doing that, came back. That shit wasn't for me. I'm not gonna lie.
They make good money. They make good money.
They make good money, but 5 months at a time being gone, come home for like 2 weeks, and then, you know, you working 12-hour days over there every day, 7 days a week.
Right.
So adding up, I'm like, bro, like I'm really not making that much money hourly. You know what I'm saying? It's really just, I'm just over there. So it's over there. But let me ask you this though, when you thought about school, how come you ain't think about taking out student loans yourself?
I thought about that too. I was thinking about it, but then I really didn't like school. So it was like, It was like, all right,
No
forget
point,
it. I'm
man.
not even gonna go that route.
Yeah.
Because it was something that I don't know. It was something that I never really like saw myself going. I just really wanted to go because when you graduate, all your peers go.
Yeah,
So you kind of feel like shit when it's like everybody going to school and you left back at home thinking like, damn, what I'm gonna do with my life now?
Nah, I feel
That was
you.
really like the only reason I wanted to go. But ironically enough, I'm in school right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
but I'm in for free now because the military.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So you go to California, but when did while you're in Cali in the Air Force, when did it start to formulate in your mind that, you know what, I gotta do something else. I need to do more.
So going in, I always knew I wasn't gonna make it a 20-year career. I knew I was gonna get in, use it as a stepping stone, and get out. I didn't know exactly what I was gonna do when I got out,
Right.
but I knew I was gonna get out and do something. So, but what really like woke me up. So like the first 3 years while I was in the Air Force, I was pretty much bullshitting. Like I was like 20 when I got in, and I was just like traveling a lot, taking leave, spending money, like buying shoes. This like my real. No, that wasn't my first time. That was my second time out on my own, but I was on the whole opposite coast, no family, like no nothing. I was really on my own.
You solo.
So I was wilding out. But so like 3 years in, right, I get tasked with a deployment. So my the guy, he was like head of my career, he came to my office, he like, hey Miller, man, I got some news for you, you deploying. And I never wanted to deploy. Like that's something I never wanted to do. So he told me, I'm like, fuck, man. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta leave, I'm gonna have to leave my girl, I'm gonna have to be in the desert, hot ass desert, 6-7 months, I'm not trying to do that. But it's the military, you ain't got no choice.
Right, exactly.
So so how the military work, for the people that don't know, when you get tasked with deployment, you get like a time period until you leave. It might be a month, it might be a week, or it could be like 5 months. Luckily for me, I had like 6 months before I could leave or whatever. So before I left, my supervisor, they came to me and shit, they like, before you leave, you need to create a will. Like just in case anything happens to you when you go overseas, it's the military, bomb could go off, you could die, anything could happen, you need to make a will. I'm 23 at the time, so I'm like, a will? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm 23 years old, I don't need no damn will.
Yeah.
But I did it anyway, listening to them. So while making my will, like I remember it was a room kind of similar to this in size. It was probably like 15 of us, and I probably was the youngest person. So they gave us the stuff to write down, and no exaggeration, bro, I finished in like 30, 45 seconds, which ain't no good sign.
Dang.
So I finished, I look up, and I'm like, yo, I ain't got shit.
Yeah.
I had Jordans, I had like 10 pair of Jordans. I had a watch my girl bought me, I had my Xbox. I had probably like $1,000 in my savings account.
Dang.
So right there, I'm like, I'm looking around, it was embarrassing as hell, because everybody
still,
writing. Or it looked like they was writing, and I'm just looking up. Like I started fake writing. I'm like, I don't want nobody to look at me and be like, "Damn, bro, you done?"
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Damn, this is embarrassing." So right there, I'm like, I never want to have this feeling again. So I like right after that, I told my girl, like, I'm gonna go on this deployment. I'm gonna save all my bread. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I'm gonna figure it out. I ain't about to be broke no more. This ain't cool. If I die right now, it's pretty much I'm like I'm living for no reason, and I'm like I don't like this feeling. So I went on my deployment. I left January 15th. I came back August 1st. And I came home, I saved all my money, I came home with like $25,000. So that was the start.
You said 25,000 in 6 months.
Yeah.
That's real.
I saved everything, bro. To help me save, like, so I couldn't spend no money. Like every time I got paid, I would send all my money to my girl. Dang. All of it. And I would tell her, like, we had a safe at the time in our crib. I'm like, put this in a safe and just leave it there. Just so I couldn't spend it. Right. I didn't want to, because you can still, when you deploy, you can still shop, go out to eat. You can still do all kinds of shit. So a lot of people, like they come home with no money saved just because they still live their life regularly. I'm pretty sure you seen it.
They had PX, so PlayStation they buying over there.
Exactly. Yeah. Man, they going crazy. So it's for me to help myself, I sent everything to my girl. I said I'm not gonna let myself spend no money.
Right.
So when I came home, like I said, I came home August 1st. I was excited as hell, obviously to see her, but I'm like, hey,
that's like,
I'm like, I've been sending you money every like couple weeks now. I need to see that. She took me to the crib, took me to the safe. All the money was there. It was $25,000 cash. I got a picture and everything. Yeah, when I came home. Yeah, so that was the start. Okay. And that's when I got into like investing after that. So I started with that money. That's the money I started with.
So what was like the first thing you invested in?
It was the stock market. And the stocks, it was BP and Starbucks. And it might have been, was it Nike? I know BP and Starbucks was the first two. And then after those, I got into Amazon, Apple, Facebook.
So all stocks at this time.
Yeah.
What year was this?
This was 2017.
2017. Okay.
Yeah.
So
summertime 2017.
That's what's up.
Yep.
You said Nike too?
Yeah, it was like I think it was. I know my girl bought Nike. I don't know if I bought. I know her first stock was Nike. When I showed her how to buy stock, she bought Nike. But I bought BP, Starbucks, And then, like I said, I got into Amazon, Facebook, and Apple.
Okay. So at this time, you're 23, you say 25,000, but where'd your mind frame actually switch? Because at this time, you could have said, okay, I'm gonna invest, but I don't know where to start. Like a lot of people at that time weren't even looking at stocks. Well, the general people weren't looking at stocks until like now to where it's become popular, trendy to do that. But at that time it wasn't. So like what led you down the direction of stocks first?
My deployment, because I had, as you know, when you deploy, you ain't got nothing but time on your hands outside of work. So outside of work and going to the gym and working out, I just had time alone. And that time alone, I would just be sitting on YouTube, on Investopedia, sites like Investopedia, just reading, soaking up game. And then it's like, because like I said, I came there with the intention, like I'm gonna save my money, but I'm gonna figure out what to do with it. So during that time, I was just figuring out ways that I could do money and double my money, triple my money.
Right.
So that's what led me to the stock market, like learning about the stock market, doing that employment. That's why I always tell people, like, in my opinion, like if you're looking for like a transformation in your life, like the time alone is so important because it forces you to like reevaluate your current situation. Like when you moving on a day-to-day, especially if you live in a major city, it's hard to finally sit down and be like, damn, what I want to do with my life? Like, is my life really going in the right direction? Because you're doing too much.
Right.
But you ain't got nothing to do and you forced to sit down. You just dealing with all the thoughts. Like, damn, like I ain't did this yet. I need to do this. So then you're like, all right, let me get on my shit. So that time alone, that 6-7 months alone, they helped me. That changed everything.
Yeah, it's crazy you said. I'm dealing with that right now. I've been telling my people, like, I've always been around people, always had people all the time, and I'm always going out because COSIGN, the work we do, always going out. But it's like, man, now I have time, idle time, and I'm sitting in that idle time, like, dang, I'm realizing a lot about myself and why I do the stuff I do and why I don't do what I need to be doing. And it's like, all right, something has to change. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
so
that's real, bro. Like, because in my opinion, I feel like a lot of people, they don't like reach new levels to get ahead because they never allow themselves to have that time. Because so many people, I think they scared to sit alone. I'm pretty sure people that can't go nowhere by themselves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anytime they sitting alone, they got to call somebody. They can't just sit in silence because they can't deal with their own thoughts and shit like that.
Man. So at that time, like when you sat down with your thoughts, I know that a lot has to do like mental health too. Like how'd you kind of force yourself to change? Because sometimes change is difficult. So what was it that forced you? Was it just the fact that I don't ever want to live in this situation again, or what was like your deciding factor?
Yeah, it was that, and me also. I'm like naturally optimistic. Always like I'm not a pessimist at all. I always have a positive attitude. Think I could I don't know if that could be a good thing or bad. I think it's a good thing. It worked in my favor, but I'm always naturally thinking like the best is gonna happen, and thinking like, okay, just because I'm here right now, don't mean I gotta stay here forever. For sure. I could just take these right steps and just gradually change my situation. So it was pretty much easy for me just getting the capital and attaining the information at the same time was the part that I had to take the steps and do that.
Okay, got you. So you got 25K, you invest in the stock market. How did you get into real estate? Because I want to say that's like where your biggest portfolio right now is real estate, or is it stock?
My biggest portfolio, yeah, you're right. Real estate and crypto. I would say really crypto, but real estate is I got a big portfolio real estate too.
So real estate was right after the stocks?
Yeah, so it was stock. I got some stocks first, then I got some crypto right after I got some stocks.
So you on crypto early.
And real estate didn't happen to almost a year and a half later. I got into real estate December of 2018.
Okay, December 2018.
Yeah.
So you was on crypto early. Did you believe in Bitcoin at that time already and everything?
Oh yeah, I was already in.
He's already in.
I got in crypto when Bitcoin was $3,000. Yeah.
Dang. Oh yeah. So
I was already in, and I found out about that while I was deployed. So the deployment really changed my life because I learned so much. I found out. I know I probably wouldn't found out about Bitcoin if I wasn't deployed. Just sitting there having so much time, then I was hearing about it, and at first I thought it was a scam. Yeah, I'm like, there's so many unknowns. I'm like, man, because when I first found out about it, it was like 1,500, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what this is. It's crazy. And then it shot up to like 3,000. When I seen that happen, and it was like less than a month, and I'm like, I seen it at 1.5, now it's at 3. So I'm telling my girl, I'm like, hey, we gotta do this, man. Like, if we lose our money, at least we know. But I can't watch it double again. And then if it go to 6, I'm like, damn, I seen it at 1.5. Right. So I was just like, I'm willing. One thing about me, I'm a risk taker. Like, especially being young, not having any children, anything like that. I'm not scared of losing money at all.
Because you got the blueprint to get it back.
I know I can get it back. Like, I know I can't get the time back. Right. That's what I'm more afraid of losing, time, because it's impossible to get that back. Right. But money, hey, I'm willing to risk that all day.
No, in fact, they do say real hustlers can lose it all and get it back.
Get it back.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how I live by, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was late to crypto just because I thought it was a scam too.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, nah, this can't be real. I remember sitting at Buzz Brews in Deep Ellum, and they had a machine like you could buy a Bitcoin or some type of cryptocurrency from. And I was like, I kept seeing people go to the machine. And I'm like, nah, bro, these people look sketchy. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, nah, I'm like, there's no way they got money. There's no way they got money. So I was like, nah, I'm cool on it. And then over time, I kept seeing it grow and grow and grow. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss out. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try it. And if I miss, you know, it's a lesson, not a loss. So, you know, I did that and been steadily investing in stocks and crypto. But I was still late to the game. Well, I'm mad at myself, but, you know, there's always time to recorrect yourself.
On some real shit, though, you're not, though. Yeah. It's still so, like, people don't, like, I was reading something, they were saying, like, worldwide, it's, like, less than, like, 2% of people in the world own crypto.
On crypto.
And in the United States, I think it's, like, less than 10%.
Yeah.
So you see, like, people watching this, and they might think, like, I'm late, it's too late. No, it's not.
Man.
It's got a long way to go. Like a long way to go.
Nah, I feel you, man. And I think one thing, like, you know, you're in the industry, a lot of people see and they get excited about is when you put numbers to people's situations, right? So I remember when I made my first 100,000, right? Mm-hmm. And that feeling, because you know when you're young and grow up different, you're like, man, all I want first is the 10,000. I want 10,000. And you get 10, it's like, man, I want 20. Then you get to 100, and you realize it's money, but it's not.
It's not a lot of money.
It's not a lot of money. For you, when you reach like that first six figure, how'd that make you feel?
Oh, I feel great, and the reason is because I'm the biggest Jay-Z fan.
Yeah.
As far as music, I'm the biggest Hov fan. And growing up, you know, on the Blueprint, the song You Don't Know, he always talking about, he said, came into the game 100 grand strong. And I was a kid, I used to be wild as a kid. I used to be thinking, like, okay, Jay-Z dropped his first album at 26. Yeah. By the time I turned 26, I wanted 100,000 too. 100,000. So that was always like a goal of mine. And I did it before 26, I did it at 25. So when I did it, I felt amazing. Like, it was like, man, I felt on top of the world. But the bad part about that is I got complacent. So around that same time, I took a trip to Miami because I think it was like around my birthday. And when I went to Miami, I was not only did I go to Miami, I think I went to like Vegas. I was taking trips and shit, right? Yeah. So I spent like, within like 2-3 months, I spent like 20 bands, right? So then that 100, it ain't 100 no more. So that taught me immediately, like, hold on, like, 6 figures, first of all, is not a lot of money. And secondly is, when you hit a goal, you can't get complacent. Right. You got to create a new goal, because as soon as you stop trying to reach new heights, you're going to start falling down. Exactly. So you always got to have a new goal. When you hit $1 million, you're going to say, okay, now I want 5 million. When you hit 5, 10, because I'm telling you, the moment you stop, the moment your money going to start dropping, you're going to be like, what the hell going on?
Nah, facts. I think that's what they say, like, if you want $1 million, plan for 10.
Plan for 10. Yeah. I tell people, I think, because in my opinion, I think everybody in the U.S. at least should aim to become millionaires. And the reason is, like they say, aim for the moon, land on aim for the stars, land on the moon. Have the same goal, because let's say you only hit 20% of that $1 million goal. Yeah. That's 200,000. Facts. And the average person in America will live great with $200,000. But the problem is, people, first they see million as like out of reach, and secondly, like, people have this fear of money. Like, they for whatever reason, people got a lot of fears when it comes to dealing with money. But that's, in my opinion, I think everybody, especially if you're watching this, just aim at least for $1 million. Yeah. 20% is 200,000. 200,000, a lot of people would be satisfied with that.
Man, you can do a lot with 200,000.
You can do a lot with 200,000, especially if you got a low-cost lifestyle.
Nah, facts. And I think one thing, too, I commend you about is you've made it a point to surround yourself with other successful people. And it's not just more so like people leeching on people. It's like actual, genuine friendships. I think another guy in Dallas you're really cool with is Tay on Tech.
Tay, that's my boy.
So how'd y'all meet and get connected?
So me and Tay met, I think we met through social media. Okay. We met through social media, like just through like circles and probably seeing each other interact on Twitter. But we met in person. The first time we met in person was, I think, October. So before I moved to Dallas, in December 2020. But before I moved here, I came here in October just because I'd never been here before. I wanted to see what it was like. So I came, and we got a mutual friend named Bees. She was here too, and he knows her. And then we went out. So that was my first time meeting him. And then, like, I didn't see him again until I officially moved here. We've been pretty much kicking it down every week. Yeah.
Locked in ever since.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, why is it important to keep people, like successful people, friendships around you as you grow as an entrepreneur?
Man, it's extremely important. Just because, not even from the motivational standpoint, they'll keep you motivated, but the experiences and the things that they've been through is similar, maybe similar to what you've been through.
Right.
So it's somebody that you can actually relate to. Because on some real shit, when you get to a certain point, like 9 times out of 10, the people that you know back home, it's hard to relate.
Yeah.
You like, they still want to talk about high school, and the girls they messing with. And when you doing certain shit, you don't care to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, you pass.
So when you're around certain people that's constantly working and building themselves up, not only the sharing ideas are important, but the connection, the relatability is important. And like I said, the motivation, like they always could help you stay motivated. If you're doing something, you can say, hey, I'm doing this. What you think about this? Yeah, or they might say, hey, I might want to help you with this. Let's do this. Or if you got an investment, they got bread too. Yeah. So let's do it. Like we got money. Or if you just want to go out and kick it. Like I just came from Miami and we was out kicking it and we spent some bread. We spent like $10,000 in the club.
Dang.
Yeah. But I'm saying it was like 12, 14 of us. Yeah. And everybody make good money. So it wasn't like nobody was tripping like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's just different. Like, but just not even from like no money perspective. I think it's just like the connection is different because everybody's doing something. I think success easily connects with other success. That's just how it works. Like you see somebody that's doing something, no matter what industry or lane they in, that connection a lot of times is naturally gonna be there because y'all both striving to be better at what y'all do.
Nah, fact. And another smart thing you did was hosting your podcast, Millionaire Mindset Podcast, that allowed you the opportunity to meet so many more people and learn the game from them and build the relationships at the time. So, and that's you host that with your wife, right?
Yep. She's my wife, my girlfriend.
Your girlfriend? Oh, my bad.
It's all good.
Yeah, you host your girlfriend. Yeah. So, what made you want to launch the podcast?
So we launched it like the week I closed on my first property is the same week that we launched Millionaire Mindsets. And why we launched it is because at this point I was already investing in the stock market and crypto for over a year now. Okay. And I was closing on my first property. So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I was 24. I'm thinking to myself, all right, it's a lot of people similar to me that could use this information in this game that we're talking about, just for them to be an opportunity to be a fly on the wall. I know it can help a lot of people that look like me, that came up like me. I know it can help them. So that was just the mindset. So my girl, she actually came up with the name. So we just started. And about the first, I would say, for like the first damn near almost 10 episodes, it was just me and her. Okay. And then we started having guests on, and then connecting with other people, and then it just skyrocketed.
Yeah, and now y'all do it all in person. Yeah. The fly setup. I see it, bro. I see it. That's really dope. What has been like some like the most valuable lessons you learned from speaking with other people from that podcast? Because I mean, that's the gem of doing media, is that you get to learn from your friends and people you interview. So like, what's been something you've taken from those conversations and applied to yourself?
Connections, and the reason this is so important. Connections and the communicative skills. And the reason it's so important is because you could be the smartest person in the world. You could have everything put together. Right. But if you can't communicate with somebody, it's always gonna be a barrier between wherever you at and where you're trying to get to. Mm-hmm. Like you could have no money at all. Right. But if you know how to communicate with people and network and get out there and know how to talk to people, you can always put yourself in a better position. So having a podcast, and that's what you're doing, you talking. Right. Every episode you just talking, whether it's an hour, 2 hours. That taught me communication skills and how to network with people. Mm-hmm. And like my guy Austin, he just put me on to this. He was saying it's not who you know, it's who knows you. Mm-hmm. He's like, cause I know LeBron James, but that motherfucker don't know me. Yeah. So the thing with podcasting is it puts your name out there, so now people get to know you. Right. And that's extremely important when you talk about networking. Because people need to know you. Like you said, you can know somebody, but that don't mean they really know you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So get somebody to know who you are, that's a huge, big step with networking, but you also have to be able to communicate, not be socially awkward. I know a lot of people are socially awkward these days. It's hard, but you gotta do it. You gotta you have to do it.
Get out that comfort zone, man.
You gotta do it.
It's definitely difficult for most people, especially with social media, because a lot of times you just on your phone, you're not actually interacting with people. And you get comfortable with that. And then when you actually get within, the confinements of people, they don't know how to operate.
Man, how many times have you talked to somebody on social media He was like, all right, this person, he seemed like a good, solid dude.
Yeah.
You meet him in person, like, this dude awkward.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's how
Yeah, no, facts.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'm like, yo, something ain't right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
man.
That ain't adding up. But that's real, man. And I seen some of your most recent guests. You had another guy I've been following on social media, Tez.
Yep.
How y'all connect?
So me and Tez connected because he was on my podcast about 2 years ago because he's from Cleveland. And my girl, she's from Cleveland.
Oh, nice.
So there's already had like a connection there because they both from Cleveland. So then when I reached out to him like 2 years ago, like we recorded, and we always kept it like every time I do a podcast with somebody, I always keep in touch with people. We build a relationship, especially if I feel like this a good person right there. I'm gonna keep in touch with you. So keeping in touch over time, and over 2 years, he's just grown this brand even more tremendously. Yeah. So now we doing in person, so I'm like, it makes sense. Come out,
bring them back.
Yeah,
you grown your personal brand a lot too, man. Like you relate a lot of that to the podcast or just the knowledge you give because you do got your cryptocurrency guy, which we're going to talk about as well.
Definitely.
But you're giving like a lot of value to people. So what do you think is the number one thing people follow you for the most? Is it like the podcast or is it your information that you share?
Man, that's a good question. I would say it's probably both. I'd say it's probably like an even kill. Because I would say the podcast introduces me to a lot of people that don't know who I am. Right. But then keeping it and maintaining it, I think is based on like who I am as a person, the information that I'm giving them and what I'm presenting. Because when you see, like a lot of times when people kick like financial gain, especially to like the black community, it comes from a perspective that a lot of us can't appreciate because the visuals is not correct. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna ask you about that. Yeah.
You know, a motherfucker might come to your high school and be like, y'all need to invest y'all money, do X, Y, and Z. And when you're in high school, if they not looking a certain way, it's like, get your ass out of there. They come in looking corny, might be still not fresh, bummy shoes on. They might have all the money in the world.
Yeah, but
to us, we don't care.
Yeah,
it's like if it's not presented a certain way, we really don't care. So I think that is another way. I present it in a way where it's relatable to people. So they can say, okay, this dude look like me. Or he dressed how I dress. Or he dressed like how I aspire to dress.
Right.
So then I get them with the actual information in the game.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
So that brings me up to this point too, man. You know, there's a lot of conversation about, okay, so when you getting money, they always say you should invest, save your money. You shouldn't buy all these expensive things, right? But I always relate to, man, like we didn't work this hard to not enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So how do you approach it too when people are like, man, I know you investing, you say you making money, but then, you know, you might get you a nice luxury apartment, got the rollie. You know what I'm saying? We buy designer. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you combat maybe like the negative connotation of people saying that, you know, we wasting our money buying these types of things?
I think how can I put this? I think it's all about how you do it. Okay. Like obviously, if you're doing those things, you're going out to buy designer, expensive jewelry, and nice cars and places, and you don't have the money to do it, it's a problem. Right. But when you put yourself in a position, and you work so hard to put yourself in a position, because I know me personally, I went about 3-4 years without doing anything, without like really buying shit, without partying, clubbing, and then like after a while, like you said, you get to a point where you're like, man, I'm making good money, I've got all this money saved. If I'm not saying I got to wild out and just turn up, but it's like you want to enjoy yourself. That's what we're here for. You want to enjoy life too. So I think you got to do it responsibly. You can't have $1,000 and going out to buy Gucci shoes and that don't make any damn sense. But if you're doing it when you got assets coming in that's gonna pay for those things, that's when you really do it. That's how I look at it. Like if I know I got money coming in from here, it's decent sums of money. I don't mind going and spend $600, $700, $800 because I'm not putting no time into getting that money. Yeah, I can sit at the crib all day knowing that money's still gonna come in. So me buying some expensive luxury items is not a big deal to me. It's all about how you do it.
Yeah, now that's real. I seen you familiar with David Shan, Sleeps for Suckers?
Yeah.
So I remember when he copped his Rolex, he was like, man, I didn't even pay for this. He was like, I did an event that made the money for me to pay for this, and he's like, anytime I want to buy something nice like that, he's like, I'll create a course or I'll do something or get a new client and have that pay for what he wants. Man, and I was like, yo, that's genius. Though.
It's genius. Like I was just in Miami, right? And I just told y'all like 2 years ago when I was in Miami, I spent not that one time in Miami. I probably spent about $20,000 taking trips and stuff like that. But this time I went like learning from my experiences the last time. I said, oh no, I'm spending money while I'm here,
Yeah.
but I still need to be making money.
In fact,
So I was in Miami we left on Wednesday. I came back today's Sunday. So in that duration, I made almost 10,000 while I was out there because I was still marketing and promoting, doing my stuff. So I came back because I didn't even spend 10,000 when I was out there.
Yeah.
So I came back even with more money this time compared to when I went 2 years ago, and it was just me spending and not earning.
Right.
So now that's the thing about trips. When you take trips, in my opinion, especially if you know you're gonna spend on a trip you're gonna be spending money, you need to still be making money. That's why things like courses, like David said, whatever your business is, make sure you still marketing and doing those things right, so you can still be making money while you're having fun. Because that's the best feeling in the world. Yeah. While I'm in the club, popping bottles, throwing money, I get notification, so-and-so bought your course. I'm like, damn.
Nah, that's love.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good feeling, like, damn, okay,
So. That's real. I remember, I want to say 2 years ago, I created, because I do a lot of events, and I created a sponsorship guide, like how to get sponsorships from like companies like Hennessy, Nike, Reebok, Red Bull, etc. And it was like a digital. It was like a digital guide, and I was like, let me just see what it does, and I put it on there for like $19.99, and it went crazy, and I was like, dang. So like the same thing, like I'll be chilling, hooping, got my phone notifications. I'm like, okay.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah, I see, man. So you created your cryptocurrency guide, man, and what actually made you want to go in that direction was a bit for the fact that you've been like sharing the free game for so long time. And you're like, hey, let me put something together that has all this information in one, and how's it been going for you?
Yeah, it's been going amazing. And the reason I created this, and this goes back to why it's important to have connections and a good network, because my guy Tay, he's the one that actually told me to do it. Okay. I was never into courses. I was always one of those dudes like, man, I ain't making no damn course, man. Forget that, blah, blah, blah. But kicking on him and always talking about crypto, he's like, man, you need to make a course. I'm like, for real? He's like, just make it. Just put it out there. I'm like, all right. So I put it together and just put it out there. Then it just went crazy. And I'm like, whoa. But now it makes sense because now I'm talking to all the people that I talk to that's doing business, that's influence or whatever. I always ask them, like, if they're in real estate or they're in like whatever industry they're in, I'll be like, what you like more, like the real estate money or like the job money or the course money? 100% course money. Yeah. So I'm like, but I'm seeing it now. I'm like, oh, so like, cause I believe everybody, not only does everybody should create a course, everybody can, because everybody has some level of expertise on whatever it is. If you're a photographer, if you hang up TVs, I don't give a damn what you do. You got some level of expertise that you can sell. So it's all about on how you gonna do it, and you have the courage enough to do it. Right. A lot of people don't have the balls enough to say, man, I'm gonna put this together, or they be too scared and thinking ain't nobody gonna buy it. Yeah. There's only one way to find that out. You gotta
put it out there.
Yeah. But my course is, man, it's been doing amazing, man.
So what can people learn from there? Because, you know, with these trends, like there's a lot of courses out there, you know what I'm saying? But we know that you're, expert in this field. We've seen you put in the grind and talk about it for a long time. So for somebody who's watching this, they're like, man, I've been wanting to get in crypto. This might be a way for me. What would they be getting from your course?
So my course is a long-term play. So if you're trying to make quick money and trying to like trade in crypto and make some 100% return in a month or 2 months, 3 months, it's not going to be the play for you. My course is generally for people that's trying to invest like 2, 3, 5 years out. And I'm naming coins that you should buy and just hold and wait it out. Like, it's not gonna be the smoothest ride. It's not gonna go straight up. There's gonna be some dips. It's gonna be a bumpy road. But long term, I believe all these coins will do great in the market, and you'll make a lot of money if you just continuously buy and hold. So that's what I do in my course. It's all about long term money.
Gotcha. And
I also talk about like paying taxes, because a lot of people don't know that you are supposed to pay taxes on your crypto. People don't know that. I go over platforms you should use. I named 13 coins that I think people should be investing in long term. I named some coins that's still under $100 that I think will be crazy long term if people get in right now. And those are pretty much generally like the main things I go over in the course. Is
your overall investment strategy as a whole like hold long term, or are you doing any like day trading and all that as well?
Yeah, I do some swing trading, but I would say a good 90% of my portfolio is just long term. But what I do to combat it, because it's so long term, like obviously if you were trying to wait to get rich, it's gonna take a long time. That's why I still do a lot of things that I can still make money from, like right now. You know what I'm saying? So with my business, I have a real estate company. We help people buy real estate outside of the state they're in. And I have my courses and stuff like that. And a podcast that generates you money immediately right now too. You know what I'm saying? So, But generally, my portfolio is long term. Yeah.
Now that's real. You said that you actually brought that about the podcast. I know a lot of people start, but they have no idea how to start to monetize it. Like everybody, like I'm gonna start a podcast, and then after a while, like it dies down or they quit because they haven't figured out the play for it yet. How did you be able to figure that out and actually to monetize that?
So monetization, and this is an extremely important topic. I'm actually coming out with a podcast course. It's another course I'm coming out with, but this is a dope topic because, like you said, a lot of people don't know. I talk to podcasters that's been in the game for a year, 2 years, and they made a dime. No. I'm always like baffled, like, damn, for real? Like, how? But so how you can make money is like depending on the platforms you could use. Some platforms pay based on the ads base, like the CPMs, like that. Like based on 1,000 listens, you could get anywhere from like $17 to $25. So that's one way you could get paid. But on your own, you could do sponsorships. Thanks. You could do merchandise. You could do affiliates. That's how a lot of my money from podcasting is through affiliates. Like I got like partners that have high entry products and stuff, and then they pay me based on like, you know what I'm saying? Like I got one of my partners, he charged $50,000 for Walmart automation store. But you'll generate like anywhere from like 8 to 12,000 per month because they set up your whole store, they run it for you, and they guarantee your money back within 18 months. If you don't get your money back in the contract, they buy you out. So that's one of my partners.
So you pay $50,000 for a store.
They pay him $50,000 for a store, and I'm getting a cut of that. So that's just one way. Yeah. Like merchandise and sponsors, and like I said, doing like with ads and stuff like that. That's so it's a myth. Like people don't know, it's a lot of ways, and I didn't even mention events. Like you can do an event. You doing events, podcast events, ticket sales. Yeah. So podcasting is like I relate it. I see it a lot being like the music industry. I think it's very similar to that. It's just it's not as structured yet. Right. It's damn near like the Wild Wild West. Yeah. It's kind of like all over the place. But I say give it like another 5 to 10 years, it'll be very structured because you'll see more and more podcasters getting deals.
Yeah, I'm seeing podcasts getting deals like they athletes right now. Yeah, exactly. You'll say they're getting $1 million deals.
Yeah. Give it. I would say give it another 3 to 5 years. It's gonna be crazy because it's gonna be like when people in the music industry coming out with record labels for artists, they're gonna have labels for podcasts. They're just gonna sign up a lot of acts. It's already happening slowly, but it's gonna happen. I say give it anywhere from 3 to 5 years. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a crazy bag. That's why people that's already doing it, like us, we already got our foot in. All we gotta do is keep applying the pressure. Because when the real bag comes, because I've made over 6 figures podcasting already.
Just from podcasting?
Yeah, just from podcasting already. But I know when the real millions and millions come, it's gonna be easy to get if you got your shit set up straight.
Got it right, yeah. That's kind of what we're working on over here. Like instead of like signing people up, we're building a network, but we're actually like producing it for them. So like we're signing talent who are dope talent, but they haven't created a podcast, sign a talent, create a podcast or a show for them under our network, and then just do like an ad split.
Y'all doing it right already. Yeah, y'all doing because y'all already got the setup. Yeah. So everybody damn near want a podcast these days. Just like everybody wants to be a rapper, everybody want to be a podcaster. Yeah. So to have a place that you can actually come to and have the setup already, because people don't know what equipment to use. Yeah. They don't know what microphone to use, what camera to use. No. They don't know nothing.
They don't know what it takes.
Because I didn't know nothing when I started. I started off this, my cell phone. Nah. No headphones, no nothing. Janky audio, just talking on the cell phone and publishing. So, but then doing it, I learned so much about how to really, really do it. And people don't know that. So having this already, y'all already ahead of the game.
Yeah, that's real, man. Yeah. Appreciate that. And that's crazy about the affiliate links, man, because I've seen them. But I've always went like, man, those things really work. But then I've been hearing about people like, making bread off these affiliate links.
As long as it's whatever it is for, it's a good product or it's a good service. Obviously, if it's some bullshit, it's gonna be hard to sell it. But when you got something that's good, that's actually bringing results for people, right? It's easy because they see the results, they know it's working, they hearing the testimonials, the stories about people how it helped them. Right. It makes it easier.
Basically sells itself.
Yeah, it sells itself. All you doing is promoting it.
Yeah. And I think another subject I want to touch on with you, man, is that you do the podcast with your girlfriend, and I think it's beautiful that y'all have a working relationship because you'll see like people dating and they try to either like split like their personal life with with their relationship, and it gets kind of like misconstrued along the way. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like a healthy, successful relationship, you keep your partner included in what you got going on. So how do you maintain, you know, like your personal working with your partner and that balance between y'all to make sure, you know what I'm saying, y'all don't collide too much because y'all do a lot together.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about this all the time. Like, you got to keep some form of self-identity. Like, we don't want our whole identities to be solely based on each other.
Right.
So I always encourage her to go do your own thing. Do this without me. Do an interview without me. Do a little podcast without me. So people get to see you and learn more about you without like us being together. And I like to do the same thing because the Millionaire Mindset, we grew it to a big point together. So a lot of people know us jointly. Right. But the thing is, like, we don't want that identity to just be that, because she's still her own person at the end of the day. Just like I'm my own person. So we try to like, we give ourselves our own space, let each other do our own thing, and then that makes podcasting so much more easier. Just because we not together and doing everything together. Right. The podcast is really like the main thing that we really do together like that. Everything else, either she does it on her own and she leads it on her own, or I do it. You know what I'm saying? If I need her help, I'll just ask her. Yes. But really though, what really helps is like when we first got together, I pretty much like I gave her the vision and like the game plan, and like she bought in, so she knew like, okay, this is where we going. So she got something to look forward to. It's not like it's just like idle time where it's like, is any confusion where she like, I don't know what's going on. Right. And that's where unnecessary problems and drama come from, because she don't know the bigger picture. So with her seeing the bigger picture, she don't give me any problems because she understands where we going. Right. It's like, okay, I understand the vision. I'm not gonna get on no bullshit or fuck this up or fuck up his momentum just because I'm on some petty shit right now. Yeah. So that's the main. I see a lot of dudes, like I talk to them personally and I see them like on that part they mess it up because they're not explaining the vision and breaking it down, and most importantly, making sure she buying in. Because you can explain it to somebody and they can be like, I ain't with it. Yeah, like, but explain to her, she bought in since day one, so that made everything so much more easy. Nah, it does, man. Most definitely. Like they say, I'm gonna mess up the quote somehow. I know I'm gonna fuck it up, but it say something like, if you having a good woman will make you something like a strong man or a king or something like that. It just levels you up, basically. No, it does. You know what I'm saying? I agree, it does. Yeah. Because a good one's gonna keep you on point. Yeah. Even when you might be slacking or doing something. Because I'll give you a prime example. Like I say, I was just in Miami in the club and we was turned up. Wow. Like it got to a point, my girl, she looked at me, she said, hey, you turned up. I'm like, you right. Yeah. But if she wasn't there, I probably would have just kept going. I probably would have went super crazy. But it's somebody to keep you on even keel, like, because we damn near like, we kind of the same, but kind of like opposites too. I'm laid back too, but she really laid back too. So she like, really hey, she like, she like, chill out a little bit. I'm like, you right. So that's it. You know what I'm saying? So that's good though. You need a partner that's not no yes man or yes woman. That's not gonna do whatever or not gonna keep it real with you. Nah, facts. Yeah. I remember my ex, man. That's one thing I ain't gonna lie, she was brutally honest. Sometimes it hurt, but she was like, you know, she was telling me like, man, Cash, I know you can go harder. You know what I'm saying? She was like, these people see you and they enjoy what you're doing and they love it, but like they don't see the next level of where I know you can go. You know what I'm saying? So like, don't get comfortable with this, because you know sometimes you get comfortable. You like, man, I'm eating good, you know what I'm saying? Like people know the brand. You like, I'm a coast. It's like, nah, it ain't time for that. So you definitely need that, because sometimes the homies, they just right there with you. They're like, man, shit, we good. We get in the club, we got sections. But yeah, you gotta have that. Gotta have that balance. Gotta have somebody really bring you down. Like, say, this is cool too, but we trying to hit another level. We trying to hit another level, and then another level, and then keep you locked in. But I want your opinion, bro. Like, I know you meet a lot of people that you probably look up to, like, for like motivation, success, bro. But like, who is somebody that really motivates you that you haven't met or haven't spoken to? Like, man, I would love to have a conversation with them and learn from them. It's easy. This dude right here. I mean, unfortunately, he's not with us no more, so it could never happen. But he was like, outside the whole, like, my favorite rapper is Nipsey Hussle. So, and I've been a fan since like 2000, when he first came out with the Marathon tape. That was like 2010, 2011. So like, I always studied, like, he was another dude when I was deployed. I would always study his interviews. He always talked about equity, ownership, and shit like that. I learned a lot. That's what I didn't even know what equity was to Nip mention it. I'm like, what the fuck is equity? I used to Google it, like, okay, equity is ownership or something, stake or something. So him, like, talking about that, and he did it in a way, like I talked about earlier, is being presentable.
Right.
He did it in a way where he,
Relatable.
you know what I'm saying, he was fly, he did his thing, but talked about money, but he did it in a way where it was like, it was dope. You know, a lot of rappers wasn't doing and talking about the stuff he was talking about in his music.
Nah.
So when he was talking about it, it was like, it opened my eyes up, like, wow, this is dope coming from, you know, you from the streets, coming from that perspective. So I would have loved to, he one person on top I would have loved to meet. I also like, I like Kanye. I want to meet him just because I think he like a radical and he's so like against the grain.
Right.
Like, he be just like all over the place. So I just would like to meet him and see like
Yeah.
his mind, like where it's at, like for
Yeah.
the shit he be doing. Like he just do whatever and be like, F it. So he another dude I want to meet. Like I would Hov dope too. And as far as business people, I like Elon Musk.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan of Elon. I like Robert Smith.
Okay.
Robert F. Smith.
Okay.
I'm a fan of him. I like Byron Allen.
Yeah. Heavy hitters.
Yeah. I like Gary Vee too. Gary Vee, he's dope in my
Yeah,
opinion.
he's been definitely hella consistent.
Yeah, man, man, he's another one that put me on a lot of game for years. So
Hella
a lot of stuff
consistent.
that I learned about social media and brand building, it's stuff directly from people like Gary Vee. So I would love to meet him as well.
And at this point in your career, are you still putting that time learning
Hell
new
yeah.
stuff?
Hell yeah, I'm learning. I'm pretty much learning every day. Like I consider myself a student of the game, especially when it comes to like whatever I'm doing and I take it seriously. I consider myself a student, whether it's real estate, crypto, podcasting. I'm always learning. I'm learning every day something new. Like, oh, I could do this better, or something regarding something else. I'm always learning, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like the moment I stop trying to learn is the moment I'm gonna stay stagnant in my growth on whatever I'm doing. And it's probably, you can't stay stagnant because that's how you fall off.
Nah, for real. I always like to ask people what the ultimate goal is. You know what I'm saying? Because some people have a vision ahead, like, I want to reach this level of success. It may not have like a monetary number to it, but it could be how that life looks. So what does that look like for you? Like your ultimate goal, your ultimate form of success for you?
So my ultimate goal is to build a global brand.
Okay.
It's specifically with myself and Millionaire Mindsets.
Okay.
I just want to build a brand globally when we're talking about financial literacy to just everybody. Because I know, like I said earlier, I see podcasting very similar to like hip hop in the 80s, especially when you talk about podcasts of people like us.
Right.
There's so many people that still don't listen to it yet, that still get introduced to it. So I see it like by 2030, this is just like the blueprint, the foundation I'm building right now. If I could stay consistent, keep doing what I'm doing, I feel like by 2030, when it's a new generation and everybody's listening to the podcast, that's how it came up.
Yeah.
I feel like we'll be a global brand, like a real household name, like throughout the world type shit. Like that's what I'm really trying to do. Like the money thing, I'm just worried about impact. I know if I keep doing what I'm doing, I keep impacting people, and it hits that global scale like I'm talking about, money will never be an issue.
Yeah, money's
so
gonna come.
like I always, like I say, like I want to be a billionaire, but that's my number one focus. If that happens from that, that's cool. But that's my number one focus,
Right.
and I know the money will come. I ain't gonna. If I didn't make a billion, I know I'ma still live good.
Yeah.
And be doing what I want to do. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my like number one goal.
Nah, facts. And the knowledge you obtain over the years, like you said, you'll never be broke again,
Yeah.
or you know what I'm saying, or
Exactly.
never be in a situation to where you can't bounce back from.
Exactly.
So that's why I always like to learn and stay ahead of the game. Like I buy a course, I watch YouTubes,
Man.
I do as much as I can to stay on trend or on topic, or just to educate myself, so that I'm always providing value to others. Because the more I learn, you got to share that knowledge and
You
pass
got
it
knowledge,
on.
you have it somebody else. Because
Yeah.
I think I say give it like 15, 20 years. And the reason I'm saying this because I get so many DMs and messages from people that's like 15.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm 15. Listen to your podcast. Help me make $40,000. I'm like, damn, you 15? So like how I look at it, I'm thinking like, but then like 15, 20 years, I think a billionaire is gonna come from up out of this whole thing what we doing.
Yeah.
From like watching COSIGN, like
Yeah.
damn, I was watching COSIGN in 2020 and seeing so and
Yeah,
so. He
seeing
talked
this.
about this. This helped me on my financial journey and gave me that spark to do it. But I think it's just gonna take some time for that next generation. They're gonna be way better than us.
Right.
They're gonna be way better than us.
Yeah, they
the
got
ones
a
that's
head
like
start.
10 years old right now, because they already soaking this shit up. Because they got their parents that's like closer to like our age that's introducing them to this.
Early
And my
on.
parents ain't introduced. We was watching sports and doing
Facts.
shit like that at church and stuff like that. We weren't thinking about finances like that. So I say give it like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna, like a billionaire's gonna come out of this. You're gonna see an interview and you're gonna be like, I was watching this what, blah, 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 this what happened.
So last two questions. First one has to do with what you just said. What would be, because you do get, I'm pretty sure you get asked that a lot, what would be that one play you would tell anybody, like, all right, man, I'm trying to make $10,000 or $20,000, $40,000, whatever. What would be like that one play across the board you would kind of tell them just to kind of get them started? And let's say they probably got like $5K saved up.
When they trying to make 10, they trying to get to 10?
Yeah.
So $5K, the thing with $5K is not a lot of money. So a lot of people will say like, you need to invest it, but it's like $5K not a lot. And then what they gonna invest it in? They probably don't got the information to invest in something that's gonna flip that immediately. So in my opinion, if you got $5K, you need to start like a business. Whatever that is, like anything. You can start an e-commerce business, that's simple. Like clothing, anything. You need to start a business that way you ain't gotta spend that $5K like that. You can keep it, and you can use it maybe for a little capital, use a little bit of that, and then just make money from something. Just bring it to something. Or you can get in real estate wholesale. You don't need no money for wholesale in real estate, but that's gonna take you learning a lot of information. If you're trying to get it like immediately, I think the best way is to start a business immediately. What that could be anything. That could be cutting grass. Right. That could be selling something. Yeah. Selling your expertise, your information, your time. Because if you got $5K, 9 times out of 10, you got a whole lot of time on your hands. Right. That's just the reality. You probably got a lot of time on your hands. So in that time period, just look up stuff that you could do, try to figure something out, and go all in on it. Because you got the time. Yeah, you got the time. Just go all in. Even if you're working a job, as soon as you leave that job, like I used to do when I was in the military, I'll get off work, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Google all day, reading, soaking up stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I do. Me personally, if I have $5K right now, I would just start up a business. I would find business I could do where I could just sell something, or e-commerce or something, and I would just go all in on that and just be hustling hard.
All the information's out there.
Yeah, the information's out there. You just find a lane, whatever that is.
Yeah, and last thing I'm gonna say, bro, is leave our audience, man, with some motivation, some gem, or somebody who's either trying to get started, changing their life, become more financial literate, or wants to start a business, don't really know where to start, or just need something to get through, man. Because, a lot of people out here are working 9 to 5, but they're just living paycheck to paycheck.
Living paycheck to paycheck.
And they don't know how they're going to get out this rut. You know what I'm saying? So what would you kind of tell them to help them get through that, get them started, or just, kind of inspire them that it's possible?
The first thing I would say is you got to believe you can do it, because you can do it. Like, you can actually do it. There's no barrier to stopping you. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. Like, there's nobody out here putting the guns to your head and saying, you better not get out here and come up on no bread, nothing like that. If you got an able body, an able mind, you're already there. You could do it. So now you have to convince yourself that you can do it. Because if you don't have the right mindset and the belief, you're just going to self-sabotage yourself every time. You might be saying, I want to make $100,000. But if you truly don't believe that, it's never going to happen. Because every time you get a little money, you're going to sabotage it just because your belief's not there. Your actions is going to be dictated by whatever you believe in. So I'll say the first step is you got to believe you can do it. Now after that, you have to figure out what exactly is you going to do to make money. Whether you have a 9 to 5, you working there or whatever. And then when you get that to the point where you can make money, that's when you start saving your money. You saving it and you keep saving and saving and saving. It might be boring, but that's a sacrifice you got to be willing to take. You have to take this sacrifice. If you're really trying to level up, the sacrifice shouldn't be a problem anyway, because that's just what comes with it. Yeah. So you might have to save your money and chill for 6 months, chill for a year, or however long it might take you. And then from that point, that's when during this process as well, you need to be learning. You got YouTube, you got Google, you got podcasts. There's really no excuse today for you not to learn what you can do with this bread out here. There's no excuse at all. So while you saving this money and working, just keep learning, gradually learning. And over a month, 3 months, 6 months, you got so much more information with this money that you've been saving. Now you're gonna figuring out some plays, what I could do. You might be able to swing trade, day trade crypto, anything. You might come up with stuff like, all right, I could do that. And then you just keep going from there. You just keep learning, keep going, keep saving, keep investing. And you'll look up over time and you'll be in a decent position. Even if you're at 9 to 5, you'll look and say, damn, I got good money saved where I can take this vacation if that's what I want to do now. I could treat my loved ones. I could treat myself. And you just keep going from there. Always be looking to what's next. Because the moment you stop is the moment that you're going to start to fall off. And we ain't trying to fall off.
No, we're not falling off.
No, we're not falling off.
At all. Yeah. Y'all heard that here first on Coastline Conversations, man. Salute to my guy, Xavier. Thank you for watching the interview. If you enjoyed our content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate your support. And as always, please live the Coastline life. Peace.